Hello and welcome to this week's episode of United by Red, which for regular listeners, I have good news. Majority of sport that we listen to is on some sort of holiday or end of season, so there's very little we can complain about. So yeah,
Yeah, I haven't. No, I haven't had to watch Man United this week.
thank you all very much for listening, and you will see you all next week.
Just did it for clickbait.
But yeah, I mean, Formula One's off, football season's ended, NFL is months away. I don't really know what to do with my time. I'm honest, it's quite disturbing.
I've resorted to watching some other forms of sport,
Which are
I've not watched this V8 Supercars. That's what you've reminded me. I've watched a bit of V8 Supercars, which is it's very good. It's very good racing. The UFC, I've just watched that. That was quite good. And then I watched a team play yesterday. You'll not have heard of them. Called England.
Oh, okay. Are they good at what they do?
No, mate. No, they're not. But they have got a very shit manager as well. What basically the premise of what he's trying to do is he's trying to reinvent the wheel. You know, it's quite simple with football. Right back plays at right back, left back plays at left back. You play a couple of lads in middle, they call them centre halves. Couple of idiots in midfield, usually one very old and very shit plays in there. And then you have a couple of lads that get four, usually young lads, quite good at attacking. And you tend to score goals.
Or
you
do what England did.
Midfielders at right back, random midfielders that don't tend to even play for England. Not like he's trying to get him in the team because he's a regular. And we play some other people that are very old and very shit. And then some other people aren't very good against a team that don't even have their own stadium.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that right?
I mean, I don't believe they have a national stadium because Andorra is just a small place in Spain that's managed to become a country. I don't really get it. But all I do know is that we had over
Is Andorra actually in Spain?
Yes, it's like San Marino that's within Italy. Andorra is within Spain. It's within the northeastern part of Spain.
So it is near Barcelona then?
I believe so, yes. It is very, very close.
I just didn't understand why they didn't have a ground.
Because they barely have much of a country, let's be honest. It isn't particularly big.
If you're a national team, one of the requisites to having a national team is that you have a football stadium.
So they are northwest of Barcelona by a few hundred miles by the looks of Google Maps, but I don't know the scale. So they are right on the French border, basically.
I don't understand how they're allowed to be their own nation. They're not. I mean, it's like when you come to the Premier League, you have to have a stadium that's befitting of the Premier League. Surely to play international football, you must at least have your own national stadium.
You would think this, but yet the Vatican is a country and basically has a church.
But they're not trying to play football, to be fair to them.
They might be. They might have qualified for the Club World
Cup. Better than Andorra. Would probably beat England, to be fair. So, come on then. What happened yesterday? Because I'm
like watching Gareth Southgate's England, but somehow worse. It's
people
slower.
used to say, "Be careful what you wish for."
The grass isn't always green.
I don't want Southgate back at all. I mean, at this point, I think we'd be better off without a manager. So I think we're just overcomplicating things. But how have we managed to get this? I mean, the likeness between England and Man United is quite uncanny. Because every time I watch them, they manage to be shitter than the time before. And every time I finish the game, I think, well, we can't be worse next week. And we are. And every time I watch England, it's the same. It's like, well, we can't play that bad next time. We're only playing Andorra. And we're worse.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the most boring, depressing games
I've ever seen.
Yeah. We had over 600 passes, but I think 400 of them were probably between the two centre-halves. We were too slow. It was too narrow. It was lacking invention. It was lacking creativity. And Tuchel's come out and said, well, I've told all the players I'm not happy with what they did. The intensity wasn't there. Well, that's your fault.
I mean, growing up as a kid, I was led to believe that when you were playing against teams that weren't very good, that defended hot, with a low block and 9 men, 10 men at the back, you play with a lot of width and a lot of pace because they can't do. If you stretch the pitch, it takes away their advantage of having everyone in the middle of the park. We made it so narrow that we were inside of them. They were like wider than us. It was like, use the space wider. Get multiple players on each wing so that they have to drop wider, 2 or 3 men to cover you, and make some room in the middle of the pitch.
Yep.
We just played through basically a 10-yard channel for 90 minutes. I mean, you don't have to be a great side to get 11 men in a 15-yard square, do you? I mean, it's not a good tactical genius to stop England playing, really. You just all stand in the middle of the pitch where the ball is.
And this has been our problem for we're going back 15, 20 years now. When the minnows, for want of a better term, became more organised, so they weren't just helter-skelter, would chase the ball like idiots, and decided that just defend and defend well in 2 banks of 4.
Which you
England
can't blame them for, can you?
No, that's the right thing to do against what is a
Right thing to do, 100%.
superior nation.
This is what the Premier League, this is what the top 3 or bottom 3 in the Premier League should be doing. What Andorra are doing. Defend first. Get men behind the ball and try and get the odd goal, the odd point, but don't be playing out from back and conceding 6, 7 goals. This is what the bottom teams in the Premier League should be listening to, and they're not.
And you can't always be too harsh on the better team because it is difficult to break down, like you say, a low block of 2 banks of 4. But we didn't even do the simple things: spread the pitch, play quickly. We just spent far too long
football,
pondering with the ball.
Your wingers want to be as wide as they can be. Your fullbacks need to either get past them on the outside or the inside and force their fullbacks back, giving your wingers time on the ball. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who I don't rate as a right back, but the one thing he can do is put in a good ball. And he's not on the pitch. We played Curtis Jones there, I think he's called. I mean, I don't know what that's all about. I don't know what the thinking there is at all. We've got nobody that can unlock a defence with a great pass on the pitch. And we've got no width. We're not getting at them. We've got nobody up front other than Kane on his own, so we're not getting crosses into the box. So what was the game plan? Just hope for the best.
I really don't know what the game plan is.
I mean, you've got strikers on. I mean, for me, straight away, the first thing, I mean, I'd have had Trent on the pitch because he can cross a ball and he can play a good pass. Like I said, against the bigger teams, I think he's a liability. But against teams like this is where you can use him and get the ability out of him because he's good on the ball. I'd have had at least 2 strikers, if not 3 on the pitch. And I'd have said to him, get in the box, the ball wide, and just get crosses in. Because you can't, if you're a shit team, you can't stop that. If you can get a ball in from deep into the box and you've got good strikers in the box, they'll score goals because you can't defend against that quality when you're not that good. Anyone can stand in the middle of a pitch and just block a ball. You don't have to have any quality to do that. We just did nothing. I mean, I struggled to watch the whole 90 minutes, but I struggled to find anything else to watch. So I thought, I will watch it. But it was one of them, I was like walking around the house doing things, thinking, it's just, like when you want to play on your phone or something because you just can't concentrate on it because it's just there's nothing happening. It's like when safety cars out in Formula 1 and they're just following each other. It was literally like, is this it? Is this all we've got against Andorra? I mean, Latvia beat Andorra 1-0.
And we are 12 months away from the next World Cup.
I bet 12 months almost to the day.
Yeah. And there is no team that has any ambitions of winning that World Cup that sits there right now and goes, I'm scared of drawing England. Nobody. Because looking at that, everybody goes, they're easy to beat.
What I'd want to see right now is a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to you yesterday, Jordan Pickford plays every game. So when Jordan Pickford gets injured 3 weeks before the end of the season, what's plan B?
We said this this month, though, didn't we?
Yeah. So for me, there's no point playing Jordan Pickford in these games. Let's play the other goalkeepers and let's try and establish who is a genuine number 2. And not because we called him up as number 2, who is a good goalkeeper that we can call on. You're playing Henderson in midfield. Is he going to play in midfield for us in the World Cup? Is that the plan? Is this the master plan that we brought the German in for? Because if it is, it needs to go now, because that won't work. I can tell you that. It hasn't worked for the last 10 years I've been playing. It's not going to work next year, right? We're playing Kane up front. This is not against Kane, but we know what Kane brings to us, right? If Kane's his striker for next summer, and if he is, what's his plan B? Because I've watched England for the last 3 years, 4 years, and I don't know who our number 2 striker is. And I don't think he does. So if Kane does his metatarsal, i.e. Rooney or Owen, 3 weeks before the World Cup, who plays up front?
I don't have an answer because neither does he.
You know, all the obvious people keep playing. Well, we know that if they're going to play, what's the point in them playing? We need to figure out who's going to be his right back, because I don't think we know, do we?
It's not Curtis Jones because he's a central midfielder. That's one thing I do know.
I understand trying things different, but there's got to be a logic to it. He's not trying Curtis Jones at right back with an idea of him playing there in the World Cup, is it? Hopefully not. So what was the point in the experiment?
What I don't get is, and I'm not sure if he's injured, but what's Livramento done wrong? Genuinely, what has that man done wrong?
Called up, did he?
But why? I don't get why. So you've not picked Livramento so you can play Curtis Jones at right back?
Try different things, I'm fine with it, but there has to be logic to it. You know, basically, we've played the players that we knew he was going to play, which gives us nothing. And the players he's tried are all the players that aren't really good enough to be there. You know, what about the Palace midfielder? Is it Water?
Wharton, yeah.
What, he's not there? So we think Henderson right now is better than him, and in 12 months' time will be better than him again. I mean, you don't need to have a footballing knowledge to know that that's not right. I just can't, for the life of me, think of what the plan is. What he's going to get out of these next 2 games, where he sits down and goes, right, well, that worked, and that worked. What?
But so far,
we took 3 goalkeepers and we've played the same fucking goalkeeper again.
But I don't know what he's trying. But so far, everything that he may have tried in his head hasn't worked anyway. If you beat Andorra 1-0,
logical, isn't it? It's just literally. Do you think I think he's just got a hat with a load of pieces of paper, and he pulls them out and goes, "Oh, play me midfielder at right back. Try that." You know, I understand Pep does some very strange stuff, but whenever he does it, there always seems to be a bit of a logic to it, and you see a future plan. I just don't get what we're trying. We're almost taking the players out that we need to be playing and leaving in the players we don't need to be playing and trying players that aren't going to be in the England team. And I'm like, this should be a game where you're looking at, right, what's plan B? Who's my second striker? Who's my second goalkeeper? Who's my second pairing in midfield if somebody's injured? Who are my second set of centre-halves? Let's get them all together. Let's play the formation we're going to play, right? And let's get them 2 or 3 games together so that they're all gelling and playing together if they're called upon in 12 months' time. And we don't do that. And then we'll be surprised when we come to the World Cup and Rooney gets injured and we haven't got a backup for him like we've done before. So Kane gets injured and we're going to be like Rooney again, aren't we? We're going to be taking Kane like we did last summer with Luke Shaw. We took Luke Shaw because we couldn't have won the Euros without an injured left back. I mean, it was madness. We do it every time, don't we? Is he fit going into the tournament? We'll leave him at home then if he's not. But what's the plan B when these players aren't available? And I don't know what the plan B is. And I don't look at that manager and think, well, he's got a clue. Because he's not showing it.
I don't think he knows what plan A is. Forget plan B, C, D, E, and F. What is plan A? What's the formation? What is he trying to implement? What is he trying to instill? Because all I can see that he's instilling is slow play, keep it at the back, mess about with your centre-halves, Pickford pass it to Maguire or Konza or Jones, who's randomly stood at right back thinking, what the hell am I stood doing here? We'll probably take Luke Shaw, even though he's been on one leg for 7 years. Jordan Henderson. Now, here's my thing. I don't want Jordan Henderson in the squad. He's not right. It's not worked. He's been there for 12, 15 years. And it's a failure. But even if his theory is Jordan Henderson needs to be there in the big games because of his experience, Andorra away is not a big game. So why the hell are you?
That's what I'm saying. I don't mind if I can clearly see what the plan is. But if anyone can explain the plan to me, you're a better man than me. Because I watch England and it just seems like 11 people have turned up on a Sunday morning to have a kickabout and we've made a team out of them.
Yep.
We've gone from having the golden generation where we're so close to winning tournament. We now look like a second-rate nation. in the space of a year.
Let's be honest, though. We reached the final last year not on merit. We didn't deserve to be in that final.
But we did have a team that you looked at least and thought there's quality in there. We weren't playing well. We didn't have a great manager. But all the way through the team, you thought quality, 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 quality. I'm looking at it now and thinking, who's he? Who does he even play for? I mean, that Madueke keeps getting in. And I'm like, he's not even very good for Chelsea. So why are we picking him? Is he our best option at left attacking midfield?
No, Anthony Gordon is.
I mean, Eze is better than him. I mean, Eze's had an outstanding season. You know, in a Palace team, which are all right, but they're nothing exceptional. There's so many better players out there. Are you telling me Phil Foden's not as good as Madueke?
Not this season. Phil Foden has been bad.
But so player for player, we're not picking players on merit here, are we? Because Jordan Henderson's been playing fucking Ajax in Dutch league.
Well, this is the thing.
Names, aren't we?
I was going to say I'd support not picking Phil Foden if you were doing a merit-based team. So say Wharton was in, Eze was starting, all of these, Livramento was in, Gordon was in, all had great seasons. But you're going to leave out Phil Foden because he had a poor season, but you're going to put Jordan Henderson in, who bottled the Dutch league. They were 9 points clear with about 4 weeks left. He's bottled the Dutch league. You're paying Curtis Jones at right back. How is he on merit the best right back when he's never played right back?
Reece James at left back.
Who is a right back? Oh, he's never played.
I mean, why didn't you play Curtis Jones at left back and play Reece James at least in his right? We've got both fullbacks in the wrong places. It's like Curtis Jones has got to come inside because he's a midfielder. Reece James has got to come inside because he ain't got a left foot. So again, it's just all narrowing to a little triangle in the middle of the pitch where we all meet together and have a mother's meeting about how shit we are. And Andorra just stand there and take ball off us. And I'm thinking, fucking hell. Absolutely. Like I said, I said this at the time, we're the only nation that have managed to employ a German and play the shittest German available. There's three Germans, and he might not be German, the third one, but Jurgen Klopp was available at the time. I'd have given him every penny, and I'd have just said to me, I don't care what you want, I'll give 100 million a season. We'll win the World Cup if Jurgen Klopp comes. Right? There's Thomas Tuchel, who's a moron. And what about Thomas Frank? I mean, supposedly Tottenham are going to go and get him. Why didn't England go and get him? A manager with some credentials and some ability. I mean, it makes it worse that he's German, because I'm sure to God he's just there as a spy to ruin us.
Well, this is exactly what I said to you the week, wasn't it? This can't be real. This has got to be the fact that he's a plant, he's a mole. He's not there to help at all. He can't be, because there is no way on God's green earth anybody keeps picking the squads. And
I'm telling you now, in our next England team will be Ian Wright and Alan Shearer. And
they'd probably be better than half the crap he's just picked.
Oh, yeah.
Because let's be honest, they're better than Jordan Henderson.
Yeah, I mean, my love for England is as a country is waning, but as a football team, it's definitely waning as well. It's becoming very, very difficult to care anymore. I almost feel like
the country as a whole quite well.
Better if they didn't go to World Cup. I mean, it'd be impossible not to qualify, but I almost just feel like it'd be better if they didn't go and they'd just get rid of Tuchel and start again.
I mean, there was a thing on social media this morning, I think I saw it, that said Thomas Tuchel is the first England manager in history to win his first 3 games keeping clean sheets. It's like, that's not a start. He's played Andorra, he's played Latvia, and I don't know who else he's played, but they're not very good.
Certain I could have come up with a tactic to keep Andorra and Latvia out.
I mean, we tried hard to give Andorra a goal, but luckily they don't have the quality to actually break through our defence, because a couple of times we actually let them off, let them through. And
yeah, it was when the commentator said the guy's name and said he plays in the Spanish 5th division. And I'm like, what? I mean, anything below 10th in the Spanish La Liga is crap. La Liga 2 or whatever it is horrendous. It's not like the Championship where there's any quality at all. Can you imagine what the 5th tier of Spanish football is like?
I didn't even know they had 5 tiers of Spanish football, to be honest.
There's a guy playing against 2 Premier League defenders he's from the 5th tier of the Spanish league system.
I mean, they probably earned more in the first half than he's earned in the last 20 years.
you can't even begin. And I understand some people, Jamie Vardy played for some shit teams before he made it to the Premier League, but we're talking about players here that aren't even really professionals, are they?
No.
You can't be fifth tier. I mean, I don't know what the fifth tier in the English system is. I mean, we're talking Vanarama. Are we talking something like that? I mean, the
No,
fourth
we're
tier is League Two,
talking
isn't it?
the
The World League
National
Two.
League. The National League.
So we're talking about Aston Villa defenders playing against a National League striker.
Yeah,
and this is the English tier, which is a higher level than the Spanish tier, let's be honest. Because once you get below a certain level in Spain, you're talking about, it's really bad. And I'm thinking, this is not for real, is it? How are we playing against these people and struggling?
Oh, yeah, we made really heavy
You shouldn't
weather.
need to mark him.
No.
If he's in the fifth tier of Spain, you shouldn't need to mark him, should you? You shouldn't need to worry about him because his chances of scoring are 1 in a million. So,
I started this episode by saying we don't have much to complain about because there's been nothing on, and we've then spent 20 minutes complaining, and I actually feel I could go on for hours with how bad that lot was.
It's getting worse. I likened it to Man United, but at least at Man United, I could sort of see something changing a little bit. We're trying to play a new system. We're trying to bring in a whole. I just can't see anything changing with England. I don't look at it and think he's trying to do what?
All I can see that he's done is he's Southgate, but with playing worse players.
Bad accent.
So we've just done Southgate, but worse. And I didn't think it was possible to do as bad as Southgate because he was inept and slow and didn't take risks and wouldn't play attacking players. And Tuchel's exactly the same, but slower and worse. And German.
I mean, yeah.
If
you're going to employ the enemy to be our manager, you've got to employ a good one. You know what I mean? You've got to go and employ a good one. If you're the FA and you employ a shit German, I mean, it's about as bad as it can be, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when I go back to when he appointed the job, we said this at the time. If you're going to employ a German, he's got to change the world because it just won't fly.
He needs to come in and you need to sit there. And it's not like you're going to say, well, he needs a couple of transfer windows to get his own players in and all this shit that they normally come up with. What we're going to do? Buy some Andorra players?
I mean, I could have even accepted if we'd have beat Andorra 3-0 and cruised and just and looked like we weren't really trying. At that point, you think, fine, you don't need to score 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 goals to look good. If you'd have dominated the game, picked them off at will, made loads of chances, scored 3 goals.
People getting shots off, getting great crosses into the box that people just miss, or it's a post. If people are firing crosses in left, right, and centre, and you're thinking, oh, it's just a matter of time before we score.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seemed like I weren't sure how long we needed to play to score 3 goals.
That was a game washing. It wasn't is it a matter of time before we score? It was, is it a matter of time before I break my TV? Because that sounds more fun than watching this.
It was a tough. Had there been anything worth watching on, I wouldn't. I'd have probably turned it off at half time. I mean, even the commentator at half time gave a pretty drab review of England. I'm thinking, it's his job to sort of keep people interested a little bit, isn't it? Try and keep the people on the TV a little bit. And he was like, yeah, this is pretty bad, isn't it? And then just drop the Latvia stat in that Latvia beat them 1-0 as well. I'm thinking, this is not helping, mate. I'm literally going to turn it off.
But on the upside, we're top of the group. We've won 3 out of 3. We are heading to the Canada, Mexico, America World Cup, something or other nonsense.
Do we play again this week?
Senegal? Yes, we play Senegal in a friendly.
A friendly?
Because everybody wants to watch that.
Why are we playing a friendly?
Because you blocked out to play 2 fixtures. Everybody plays 2 fixtures in these international breaks.
Would it not make sense to just let everyone have a rest?
I mean, it'd be better than playing Senegal.
No. We've got a lot of these players are going to go to this stupid tournament that's been invented to make a lot of people richer that are already rich. And then they're going to come back 3 weeks before the start of the new season and go into a full season with a World Cup at the end of it. Would we not have been better to say, sorry, we'll send the kids and we'll let them all go away and have a holiday and have a rest?
Yep, pretty much. But on Tuesday, so while we're messing about playing Senegal in some pointless
the Nations
friendly,
League final.
Latvia will play Albania and Serbia will play Andorra. So I'm guessing that's all our group, isn't it? That's all us, Group K, yes. So
Wow.
Serbia have only played one game. They have 1 point. Albania, if they win, can get to within 2 points of us. Latvia can get to within 3 points of us. So basically, as long as Serbia don't win both games that they're about to play, I don't know how they've only played one, by the by, it's pretty much over. I mean, you play 8 games, we've won 3. We've got Serbia to play twice, which is the only game we should, in theory, worry about having beat Albania, Latvia, and Andorra. So yeah, that's.
So we should win 6 at least out of it, shouldn't we?
If he doesn't win all 8, he should be fired.
Well, yeah, we should be. I mean, he should be fired for beating Andorra 1-0.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. But if he fails to win
middle of
any of those games in that group, I would sack him.
Yeah.
Because that is abject failure. I mean, you look at the 3 results. We've had 2-0 against Albania, 3-0 Latvia, 1-0 Andorra. It's just no. And then we go into
it's not like
September.
you can change who you support, is it? So we're stuck supporting it now.
So we'll play again in June, and then September and October and November. So we'll have 3 international breaks in the first 3 months of the season to watch that. Wonderful.
I mean, if I live to 90, I've only got another 50 years to watch this. So.
And we still won't have won anything, and we'll still be sat here saying we play too slow, we play too narrow, we don't have the right players on the pitch, and why we're playing a centre half at right back.
Our podcast will have more trophies than England.
Which won't be hard because we've only got the one, and yet we still think we're an amazing nation.
Talking of sacking the German, what about sacking the Spurs manager? What's? I mean, I'm totally lost here.
This really hurts my head because he's had a terrible season in the Premier League, granted. But he'd had a terrible season in the Premier League by December. You've let him carry on. You've let him struggle to 16th, 15th place, wherever they've ended up. He's then won the UEFA Cup. It's not called the UEFA Cup, but it is for me because it's easier. To then go, that's not good enough. We're going to sack you.
Yeah.
So you've got to the point where you've finally won something, having been turgid all season, been basically the second worst team in the Premier League, bar Manchester United. But then winning in Europe was that's the tipping point.
The final straw.
It's out.
Yeah.
It's like when Ten Hag was terrible at Manchester United, won the FA Cup, they kept him on. Yes, it then went wrong, but at least he said, right, well, there might be something here. Yes, it then went badly afterwards. But Ange's got the trophy, won it. Granted, he beat Man United, which probably means they didn't reckon much to the trophy, but that's by the by. But then I don't get how you then come to the decision now that you sack him. And I get it's the end of the season. You're giving time for a new manager to come in and buy more players and do whatever he wants to do. But Ange said, I win things in season 2. He won things in season 2. Why isn't it there a season 3?
We're back to West Ham again, aren't we?
It's like a TV show that just gets good at the end of the second series and they cancel it. It's like, why have you done that now?
At the start of the season, they would never have envisaged finishing. Where did they finish? Did they finish 17th?
Somewhere around you.
13th or something, didn't we? Didn't we end up finishing?
Did you actually manage to make yours look? I won't say respectable because that's not true.
So we're nearly in Europe by end, I think.
You finished 15th, they finished 17th, yes.
So, yeah, it's horrendous. I get that. But at the start of the season for Tottenham, they weren't going to win the Premier League. Right? And I understand you need some respectability, but surely the target for Tottenham at the start of any season is to pick up some sort of silverware. It's not something they do very often. So surely the target would have been win as a trophy. Now, the Premier League was gone for them in September like it was for United. So they probably just stopped caring about it and focused on other things. And they've won a European trophy. The same as David Moyes did at West Ham. What I don't get is, so the plan might not have been to win a trophy, but I'm pretty sure that would be the trophy. And same at West Ham. You look and think, if we win a trophy, what a fantastic season. You now sack your manager. What's the target next year?
Higher in the Premier League and don't win a trophy.
That's what I'm saying. Which is what they've been doing for the last 15, 18 years and sacking managers on a regular basis. So I don't understand how you keep your job. Are they
No.
expecting a manager to get them in top 4 and win a trophy? Well, with all due respect, that's not particularly easy, is it? You know, there's some good sides about now in the top half of the Premier League. And to bring a trophy home and then sack him, like West Ham did with David Moyes, I just don't know what they're expecting next season from somebody else. It almost seems like we'll set you a target, you've achieved part of the target, we'll sack you anyway. It's like Tottenham don't win trophies. So to win a trophy, you know, you almost feel like he should have that should have elevated his stature at the club, and it's not. It's sort of took him out of the club, and I just don't get what they think they're going to aim for now. And West Ham fans, ask them: are they happy with getting rid of Moyes? Is it better now? They've won fuck all this season. They finished lower than they did last season. So what has it achieved? Again, sacking a manager.
But what? So if we get to this time next year, Spurs have finished 6th, for instance. Just pick a number. Haven't won a trophy. Does that manager then get sacked?
No, he'll stay, won't it? And that's what I'm
Is
saying.
that better?
What's the achievement?
I don't.
We go back to what I've been saying for years. Winning trophies is the only achievement in football. They didn't get relegated. They stayed in the Premier League. They've won a trophy. That's a success, in my opinion. It's not particularly a great season, but if you've won a trophy, you've been successful in a certain part of the season. You know,
Yeah.
Would you rather finish 5th and have nothing? Is that what we come to now, just because you get Champions League football? We're back to this, where Champions League football is an achievement just to turn up. You'd rather get Champions League football than actually hold some silverware at the end of the season. We're back to Wenger in 2005 now, aren't we? Saying top 4 is basically an achievement.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. I say if they go and finish 9th next season, which means they'll have literally halved their Premier League position, they'll have, jumped up massive at the table. Is that going to be okay? Because they won't win it. They might not win anything. 9th won't get them into Europe, or it shouldn't get them into Europe in a normal season.
Well, they've got less chance of winning something next season, aren't they? Because they're now in the Champions League, which they won't win.
Yeah, so
they're not going to win the Premier League and they're not going to win the Champions League. So they're now down to 2 potential trophies, which is the League Cup and the FA Cup. They've got less chance next season of winning something than they have this season, because at least they're in a trophy where they were probably one of the better sides. I just beggars belief that a team that's won 1 trophy in I don't know how long, 30 odd years, can win a trophy and sack the manager.
Yeah, it's just all ludicrous. And something else that's ludicrous, actually. We're doing well that we weren't going to complain. So there was a report last week, I think, that said Crystal Palace might not be allowed into the UEFA Cup.
It's the dual ownership thing.
Yes.
Owned by, is it the same guy who owns Leon that owns Nice?
I believe
Leon?
so.
Is he in bed with the Man United guy?
I think so, possibly.
They're on the same club that he owns.
But here's my issue. UEFA know about this. They know who owns what club. So this is something that has the potential to happen quite regularly now. You've got a group of people owning lots of things in the world right now in sport.
The City Group, don't they? I mean, they own.
How does this come as a surprise that 2 of them might potentially end up in the same competition? And then you say, well, that's not allowed. Well, if that's not allowed, then you're not allowed to own multiple sporting entities.
Yeah.
You can't end up with this scenario of, well, we might kick one team out because they're owned by the same people. Well, you've known about that all season. They've always been owned by the same people.
What the problem is?
Sporting integrity.
Really?
They're worried.
They're going to throw that one at us.
So say,
the most corrupt organisation in the world are going to throw sporting integrity at us.
So say, for instance, Leon played Crystal Palace in the last game of the table phase. I don't know what the correct term of that is. And one club needs to win. They're worried that the other side had just let them, basically, because they're owned by the same group of people.
I mean, it would be the least corrupt thing to happen in football in the last fucking 50 years, really, wouldn't it? Let's be honest.
But it's okay because we can
got the World
Saudi
Cup.
Arabia the World Cup.
Exactly. They got the World Cup, or whatever you want to call it. Nobody's batters an eyelid. But the chances that Leon and Palace might, one in probably a million chance, come into a position where they can help each other out might. Yeah. I mean, what the chances are that they're going to play each other and be in a position where they can help each other? I mean, what are the odds on this actually playing out?
Ridiculous.
And that, sporting integrity. But the Qatar World Cup, a well-known footballing nation, but not a problem. Just, yeah, you have it. Saudi Arabia can have it. Anyone can have it. Don't worry about that. Football integrity. I mean, how have they got the cheek to come out with this crap? I understand the problem. And again, if it was all the way through football and we had some integrity, then fine. But the chances of this playing out is, I mean, the chances of Palace probably winning more than a couple of games is zero, isn't it? I mean, they're not the European powerhouse. So they're probably going to go in, lose to most teams, and go out gracefully, happily, played Europe. The chances of them playing Lyon in the last game of this league table, I mean, you'd just be better saying, well, it's a league table, you can't play each other like you do when you play all these other tournaments. Playing Champions League, you can't play two English sides in the early stages. Why can't you just say, well, they can't play each other? So there can't be a conflict.
Yeah,
but there's a way to do this rather than throw football integrity into it, which is the biggest comical load of bollocks I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, and I just find it ridiculous that they're now saying this, going, "Oh well, dual ownership." Well, they don't allow dual ownership then. If there's a chance that, fine, so you can own a team in Europe and you can own a team in America and you can own a team in Australia because they'll never co-compete.
Club World Cup, what are you going to do then?
Don't care is what I'm going to do there.
Palace win the 2029 Champions League and play in the 2037 Club World Cup.
I won't care.
I mean, I watched the thing the other day and they was talking about, was in it? Oh, it's Simon Jordan. And he was saying, and even he was like, I don't understand how these teams have got into this tournament. And somebody was trying to explain to him that Chelsea got in because they won something a decade ago. And he was like, is this really what we've come to just to make a tournament up? It's like Chelsea haven't won anything. Why are they in it?
They won the
I think he thought they were getting in it because they won this season. And it was like, but obviously it's already been planned. So they can't have got in it because they didn't know. I was like, no, because they won the Champions League in 2021.
Yeah.
And he's like, that can't be a way of selecting teams for a tournament. You've been rewarded 4 years after something you won.
I mean, if you look at it from the proper World Cup, we're qualifying for it now and it plays in 12 months. So you couldn't use this season that's just happened because it'd be too late. So you should be using the 23-24 season, in my opinion. So you can't use 24-25 because that's this year. So go back one season.
I mean, it shouldn't exist, should it? Let's be honest. But
if you're going to do it, you've got to do it with the most relevant data set that you have, which is the 23-24 complete season across all continents, confederations, whatever nonsense you want to use, and champions paths and crap to get Uriah Red Dragons to play Seattle Mariners. They're a baseball team, but I don't care.
They're probably in it.
Just nonsense.
Yeah.
The qualification path is ridiculous.
Nonsense. And then they're going to tell you about football integrity, and they're making up tournaments.
And they've thrown $1 billion. Well, they've got DAZN to throw $1 billion at it to make a prize pot. Smacks of how have. Bear in mind, there was no TV rights sold right up to the last minute, and DAZN all of a sudden throw $1 billion at it.
I mean, how are they getting that money back? Who's watching it?
I don't know, because I'm not.
I've cancelled my subscription purposely because it's going to be on. It's on Stan Sports. I've just cancelled it. I'm like, I'm not paying money to anyone that's going to support this crap. So mine's cancelled until it's over. I'm not watching it. It's fucking.
I mean, I don't even know when it starts, but I'm guessing it's next week after the international break.
3 days after the next England game. So I think it'll be a week today.
So we've got Man City players potentially, or Chelsea players in the England team, which will then have to fly to.
Chalobah was talking about it. 3 days after England play their next game, Chelsea's first game is.
Great. Well organised.
So why are they not resting? I'm not that they should rest for a Club World Cup, but if you're the England manager and you're trying to think ahead, the least they can play better, really, isn't it? So, even if you only save them 2-3 games this season, 2-3 games they won't have played come 12 months' time.
Yeah, so Sunday the 5th, it even starts on a stupid day. Who starts a tournament on a Sunday? Always Friday or a Saturday.
Idiots, man.
Sunday the 15th of June, which is a week today, we start with Al Ahly versus Inter Miami, Palmeiras versus Porto, PSG, Atletico Madrid, and Bayern Munich then play Auckland. Great.
Raiders? The NFL
City.
team? Auckland City.
Now, that's why it starts on Saturday night in America, so it's Sunday morning here.
And that'll be Tuesday here.
Yeah, 1 a.m. Sunday morning is the first game of that tournament, so nobody in the Western Hemisphere is going to care about that.
And no one's going to get up for it, are they?
No.
Wow.
Absolutely not.
Well, that's more crap we've just talked about. We can move on for Jadon Sancho's back at Man United.
We know.
So we've signed 2 people this summer. We've signed a lovely little attacking player, and we've signed Jadon Sancho. I mean, the report said that there's a great deal of interest in him from Europe, and I thought, well, that's a lie. Chelsea tried to keep him, and his wage demands scared them off. And yet somebody said that he may go to Aston Villa. And I'm like, if Chelsea can't afford his wages, not many other teams are going to, are they? And who does this guy think he is? Because if I'm Jadon Sancho right now, I'd just be grateful that someone's willing to pay me to play football, because I'm not very good. I'd just be grateful that someone's willing to write a check out for the next 3 seasons and give me money. Yeah. I mean, the guy has just gone from being potentially one of the best wingers in Europe to being one of the most horrible people I've seen on a football pitch. He's just vile, isn't he? He's crap at football. He's got a horrendous attitude, and is back at my club now on a deal that says that we can't do anything with him because he's got mega money being paid to him and he's got 2 years left in his contract.
I think, though, right now, he has to be at Man United because it sums up where you are as a club.
Oh, yeah. It couldn't. Only us.
Be in a better place.
Only Man United could loan a player on a permanent contract to buy, whatever you want to call it, obligation to buy, and end up with the fucker back. Couldn't we? There's only Man United that could do it. How have we sent him out with an obligation to buy, right? With a term in it that says it just gives 5 million and we'll take him back. I would have rather given Chelsea 15 million to keep him. I just don't understand what £5 million is going to pay his wages for what? 4 or 5 months or something? And we're going to have that cretin around the club again, pissing people off, winding people up, ruining young players with his bad attitude. Honestly, they couldn't have given me enough money. 200 million wouldn't have been enough to keep him. I'd have just said, keep whatever. He is not coming back. Fuck it. I don't care what's in the contract. Who wrote that in there? They won't sack him immediately. I mean, we were lucky that someone took him in the first place, and now we've got him back. And Rashford's back and all now. I mean, we've literally got all the old gang back, haven't we?
I mean, we joked about it.
Pogba and Lingard back, and fuck it, we'll just get relegated with them all. Just have all idiots back, can't we? Dancing and prancing about.
We joked about it at the time that how would you manage to convince Chelsea to sign that contract with an obligation to buy? But then it turns out they put a clause in it that said, actually, we'll just give you 5 million quid and we'll not bother.
I mean, I said, it's bad or not. I mean, it's embarrassing for a minute that somebody will pay 5 million to get rid of you. I mean, we seem to forget how much £5 million is, don't we? Someone's willing to pay 5 million to never see you again is pretty embarrassing as a human being, isn't it?
Yeah.
Never mind as a footballer. And let's be honest, Chelsea are hardly sparkling. It's not like this is the best Chelsea team that we've ever seen. They've got some pretty bang average players going about, and he can't get anywhere near the team, and they want rid of him. And he's back with us now. I mean, I just beggars belief that I'm going to start next season. I'm going to have Rashford on one wing and I'm going to have Sancho on the other wing. Start playing FIFA 21 again, innit? I'm like, fucking hell, we're going backwards.
Get Pogba back in middle.
So they get Pogba and Lingard back, and we'll just have a band back together. Roy Keane will just have a total heart attack, won't he? That'll be it. They'll kill him off. There'll be no more Roy Keane when he starts next season if they're back.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like you say, you couldn't write it. There's only your club could end up in this mess right now. But it sums up the mess of the
if
club.
you're Manchester United, you just say to him, you stay away from the training ground. You don't come anywhere near the club. You are not welcome through our gates. I don't care what you need. I don't care if you're dying. You do not come through them gates. Ever. And if you have to pay him to stay at home, it's better to pay his wages and he sit at home than it is to have him in that ground ruining everybody else. Just it doesn't come near us. Same with Rashford. He's not interested. Stay at home. Until you move on, stay at home. Don't come anywhere near us.
Unless they come back with a new attitude, but I highly doubt it.
Of course, yeah. I mean, of course they're just going to do that. Sancho's just going to wake up tomorrow and think, well, I've been a wanker for 2 years at Man United. I've been a wanker on loan at Chelsea. I went to Dortmund and I tried a little bit because I weren't in the limelight, but I was a wanker there. But tomorrow I'm going to wake up and be a nice person. Yeah, it often happens, doesn't it? Hitler did it. Putin's probably thinking the same. I'll wake up tomorrow and just be a nice guy. It's not going to fucking happen, is it?
No.
He's one knobhead and he will always be one. And he's back playing in our jersey again. And if he does the fucking jersey launch for a new shirt, if he stood there with his back turned, that 25 Sancho on, that'll be it. I'm supporting UR Reds or something.
Oh, dear.
Blood pressure up. Doctors told me to calm down.
I'm not surprised because that was quite a rant. It was quite impressive and does lead me on to say, well, at least there's signs that you might be signing some decent players. So Mbeumo may come, which we spoke about in January, that we thought people struggling should take him on. So there is glimmers of hope mixed in with the mud and mess and crap.
This is what I'm saying. If I like Cunha, he's a fantastic player. I don't particularly think Cunha's got a great attitude, and I'll say that now before the season starts. I think his attitude could be a problem. It could also be a Cantona style signing where his attitude makes him in such a big environment. It will go one way or the other. He will either be a maverick signing where we'll look back and think, fucking hell, what a player he is. Or we'll look at it and just think, yeah. I don't like the fact he turns to social media. I don't like the fact that we've put his life site in front of everybody and moan about what we don't like. But if this was a Man United team that was playing well or decent, you would think fantastic player to bring in. And Mbeumo is exactly what United need if we can get him. And again, they're talking about United trying to buy him for 45. Just pay the money because you need him.
Yeah.
He's exactly what you need. He's got a great work ethic. You never hear him in the newspapers. He's never on social media blabbering about how we don't like and who he does like. And every time he plays, he gives 100%. He might not be world class, but Man United are nowhere near world class at the moment. We need good, hard-working players that want to come into the training ground and work like fuck day in, day out. We don't need Sanchos. We don't need Rashfords. We don't need that type of player. So that's the sort of player we need. So hopefully they do get him over the line. But again, you've got to caveat that by keeping these other idiots away.
Yeah.
Do not let them get round him because it's all right in coming in with a great attitude, but it's like I've said before, you see the other people taking liberties, and whether you're that type of person or not, you automatically fall into that trap a little bit, don't you? They come in 5 minutes late, you think, well, obviously it doesn't matter if we come in a bit late. So, if I've got something on that morning, I'll just pop in a bit late. I'll leave a bit early, or I'll not do that extra drill because they're not doing it. It's a cancer that goes through the club. So they've got to stay away. And these new people coming in have got to not see that side of it. And that's why you say you've got to get rid of as many as you can.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's got to be a mass clear out. I mean, but before you know it, Anthony will be back as well.
Oh, fucking hell. I forgot about him. Oh, no. He's got to come back and all, hasn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck me, mate. This is getting bad.
Don't worry. There's only 9 weeks to the start of the season.
So technically, we own them all again, don't we?
Yep. Every player that made you a laughing stock over the last 18 to 24 months is now back.
Is that back? I mean, there's got to be a plan on this, surely. Somebody's...
No, there doesn't. That's the thing.
I am feeling rather emotional right now. I'd only thought of Rashford until somebody sent me a message saying Sancho's coming back. And then you just mentioned Anthony. Is there anyone else that I'm not thinking of that's coming back? Turksy will be fit, won't he?
Massimo Taibi might reappear.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear, mate. Oh, dear.
And I think there's only one thing left to say on that crushing disappointment for you. That next season is going to be hilarious for one of us. And it's not you.
Oh. I can't imagine I'll be doing a lot of laughing next season.
I mean, I'm a Barnsley fan, so I don't have much to cheer about in football at any point because my owner doesn't even know what country Barnsley's in, never mind what part of the country it is. But at least we're not Man United.
Yeah, the comical, there's always going to be a comical aspect of Man United failing, isn't there? And I suppose it's the continuous failing that's, you know what I mean? It's not like we ever seem to learn from his mistakes. It would be, I mean, like I said, it'd all be on eBay if it were down to me. So, yeah.
I mean, some clubs are terrible on a sliding scale. You're just bad. It's not getting progressively worse. It's just
very,
bad.
very bad, and we're getting worse. And we're going to look like we've just. I mean, the 2 signings that we look like we're going to make, I think, are really good. But then the 3 people that are coming back have kind of just
tipped the balance the other way again.
Anyway, let's get off the football and let's talk about Max Verstappen. Before we go.
What would you like to talk about Max Verstappen about?
What was he doing when he decided to try and kill the driver with another car last weekend?
Oh, this did post-date our last episode, didn't it?
So yeah, you know, like when he thought he was driving a submarine and tried to harpoon another. I mean, the man's just lost the plot, hasn't he?
Yeah, the red mist descended. He got
which it often does. We all have moments. Most of us aren't in charge of a £5 million Formula One car driving at 200 miles an hour when we do it. You know, because we'd be locked up.
Pete, I've spent a lot of the week reading about this, looking into it, discussing it with various people on various forums. There is a strange world that we appear to live in where we have certain sections of media, society that want to deflect and argue away what he did as a mistake, as a misjudgment, as an error.
Oh, yeah.
It is none of those things.
Overshot the corner. He was distracted.
He got annoyed. He got petulant, as Max Verstappen does. See Saudi Arabia 2021. See Mexico 2024. See Hungary 2024. There are continuing themes around that man that, as brilliant as he is as a driver, they will never change.
No, it won't change.
People said it went away for a while. It didn't. He wasn't
pushed. The challenge went away for a while. No one was challenging him.
And so as soon as there's a challenge, and as soon as there is a problem, the same Max Verstappen reappears. This petulant child that throws the teddies out of the pram, bearing in mind it was his own team that said give the place up. It wasn't told by the sport. It didn't get to the stewards because they said they would have known nothing about it. So don't then drive your car at another driver. There was no error. There was no mistake. He slowed down. He looks in the mirrors. He watches George get half past him. He accelerates. He then doesn't turn at the apex and drives into him.
Which is a Max. This is Max not turning at the apex, isn't it? I mean, he does 90% of the corners when he's got somebody trying to pass him, not at the apex. But brilliantly can hit the apex 999,000 times in every corner. I mean, this is the same guy that people say made this mistake. Did you see the save he made coming out of the last corner going
exactly
straight? That driver there made a mistake and bumped into George Russell.
Yeah.
The guy that saved that, I mean, the only guy on the track that could have saved that car in that moment was Max Verstappen. Everyone else is dead in that wall. They fucked it. He was the only guy that's capable of saving that car. Everyone else has just been a passenger in a massive accident. And yet, he presses the accelerator by accident and runs into George. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, come on. It's not even plausible.
No, it's not plausible. And I literally went over this and over this and over this. People make literally, I think he's tried to let him through, but overshot the brakes. Horseshit. Utter horseshit.
Pressing the accelerator.
Stop trying to defend it and just accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
The red mist descended. He lost his rag. He threw his teddies out the pram like he does, and he lost control.
Chris Eubank was there. It was attempted murder.
Even if you say he doesn't mean to hit George, What he's done is still out of control, and that's worse. Because if he's saying
the
the
fact
red's
of where he
misdescended
hits
and he
George
doesn't know what
says
he's
to me it's
doing,
more premeditated than possible because he goes wheel to wheel to not cause damage to himself.
yeah, it's all premeditated. But even if you say it's not, even if you're going to
Perfectly
argue,
timed. It's almost perfectly pulled off.
but if you say it's not premeditated and he's just the red mist descended and he's out of control, that's not better. You cannot have a man in control of a 200-mile-an-hour car that might sometimes not be in
Willing
control
to
of what
do
he's
that
doing.
to somebody else. Because
The
what
Rosberg,
happens next time when he's going down the straight and decide to just pip him off?
I mean, I very rarely agree with Nico Rosberg, but he was 100% right in commentary. That was an instant black flag. There is no bones about it. There's no argument to be had. There's no data that defends it. He drove his car at another car because he was angry. It's as simple as that. And he should have been stamped down on and said, no, you've got away with it for years. The amount of, driving styles that Max has used that he's got away with over the years, the FIA have created this. They've allowed his petulant, childish behaviour to permeate through the sport for years. This goes back 2018. They changed the defensive driving rules because Max used to move under braking, which is dangerous. So we're going back at least 7-8 years of Max doing things,
similar things, time and time again.
Has kind of gone, oh, well, it's probably not good, but please don't do that. He brake tested somebody on a straight in Saudi Arabia. One of the most dangerous tracks the sport goes to. There are blind corners. There's excessive amounts of speed. And we did nothing. We gave him a slap on the wrist. Brazil, that same season, you drove another car off the track. Luckily, there was a massive runoff area. We did nothing. He actually didn't even get a penalty for that one.
No, it was actually meant to be Lewis Hamilton's fault.
Mexico last year was probably worse than Spain, I won't lie. He's angry with Norris and literally sends it into the S's. That could have been a horrendous crash. Yep. He got a 10-second penalty for each. Joke. And now he's done this. And what we've actually said to him is, using your car to drive at somebody else in anger isn't as bad as George Russell cutting a chicane. That is what we've said as a sport.
And at least George Russell had the decency to admit to it.
And then we've got the media saying, well, he was contrite on Monday. He didn't. He just said, well, it was not right.
Well, he said what his team had told him to say.
Exactly. It wasn't even a statement from
that
him.
Little woman that follows him about with a recording everything said to him, you probably should say something nice here because everyone's on your back. So just say you didn't mean it. And literally, very sorry.
The team have looked at it and gone,
like a man. And
this is a PR nightmare. You've got to say something because we're just getting hounded.
Exactly. There's no sincerity in his apology at all.
After the race,
did he go down the pit lane afterwards and go and shake George Russell's hand and say, mate, sorry, red mist descended, my fault. I could then at least say, well, you've got something about you, you're a real man. But he didn't, did he? He ran off in the corner like a little girl and then got his PR team to write him something up so he'd come out in the media. Why didn't he go to George Russell and apologise to him face to face? Like a normal person would have done.
In the media pen at the end, when he was asked, rightly so, what happened? Well, what does it matter? Well, it very much matters.
Of course it matters. And they're there to ask those questions, aren't they? Yeah. But again, has he come out face to face with George and apologised to him?
No. Well, not that we know of.
That's what a normal human being would do, wouldn't it? Yeah, okay, he might have been a bit angry, but by the end, he should have gone across to George and said, mate, I'm wrong. I'm in the wrong gear. That shouldn't have happened. He won't do that. He thinks he's above the sport now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, was it a good race? Was it a boring race? Pretty standard, nothing exciting.
It had the potential to build to something with Max doing the 3-stop until the safety car kind of just brought it all together.
I mean, there was a point, and you texted me saying Max could win this. And at the time, when you're manually thinking about things in your head and you're doing the numbers, I'm thinking, I can't see how Max loses this right now. I'm thinking, he's going to pit, they're going to pit, but he's only 5 seconds behind him. He's going to be on soft tyres, which is going to gain him 5 seconds in no time. And I'm thinking, it's a hard push for him to probably not win this at the minute. He looks almost favourite.
Yeah,
and obviously it didn't play out. But
well, no, because Mercedes decided engines aren't something they can build anymore, and it exploded.
Yeah. I mean, Lando again did his usual first straight. I can't get it off the line as I should do.
It was always going to be difficult. I mean, before the race, I said to you the chances are one of the McLarens gets mobbed into turn one, the slipstream down there. I mean, I was on course to get the top three right. I will say that. They were in the order they started in for a lot of that race, and then Max decided he wanted to be an absolute weapon and drive Russell halfway to Portugal.
That weapon is a tool. Yeah, it was. So obviously we've not had a race today. Are we back next weekend, or are we back the weekend after?
No, next weekend. Formula
We're in
One
Canada
does
next
return.
weekend.
Yes, we head off to Canada with Lance Stroll still unsure if he's racing because he's still unsure if his hand is fixed, because he's still unsure if he punched the garage equipment, and they're still unsure whether that was even a story. Who knows?
Yeah, because the story I got told, it was because of an accident he had a year ago, and I'm like...
2 years ago, so start of 2023, he did have hand surgery because he had a mountain biking accident, I believe, but that could
Does
be...
he just crash everything he drives?
Pretty much, yeah. He's not particularly good at anything. Then he's gone out in
gets
Q2.
in a car, he crashes it. He gets on a bike, he crashes it. It's him driving a fucking aeroplane.
Probably crashed one of them as well. He apparently then got very, very angry in the garage, punched some things, and then went home. But yeah, so we are
Did
on
he punch the garage for any particular reason?
He wasn't happy with the team and going out in Q2 or something or other. He was just another petulant, rich.
I mean, he goes
Daddy's
out in
boy.
Q2 more occasions than he gets through Q2. So, I mean, why would you suddenly punch it today?
Well, he goes out in Q1 more than anybody in history. So it's not exactly unusual for Blamster.
Why get angry now? I mean, it's a bit late. You should have got angry 5 years ago when you were still a young upcomer and you might have had a chance of being anything in the sport. I mean, now you're literally just hanging on because daddy's there. If daddy
Yeah, pretty
leaves,
much.
you're unemployed, mate.
Which would do everybody a favour.
Well, you got to have some shit drivers, haven't you? I mean, yeah.
And to say,
who races then if he can't? Because I've seen something about Bottas coming in, but then Drugovic.
So they have two drivers that would normally stand in at this point. So Stoffel Van Dorn and Felipe Drugovic.
Stoffel Van Dorn, that fucking idiot that raced for McLaren a little bit.
Yes. They're both scheduled to compete in Le Mans, which is happening at the same time.
I know, Drugovic.
Yes, so they're both off to do a Le Mans race. So that means the only option they've got left available, not the only option, but the easiest option then available to them is potentially Valtteri Bottas.
Who's got a penalty?
He does still have a 5 grid place.
I just read the story that if Valtteri Bottas tries, he'll probably start from the back because he's got a 5 grid penalty or something. I'm like, right? I mean,
so he got a penalty in the last race he competed in, which continues until he competes again. So if it won't happen, but Jenson Button still has the same penalty lingering over him.
Jenson Button. Ayrton Senna got one and all.
If Jenson Button ever gets in a Formula One car again, he will have to save a grid penalty. So it's just.
I mean, he'd be better than Lance Stroll, and I bet he's as old as me.
He's older than you, but yeah. So it's a strange one, but we'll have to see as we head into race week. Probably by Tuesday at the latest.
They're going to need to find out soon, aren't they? Because I'm guessing you've got to build a seat for us going in. You've got to get the car there, and you've got to get the driver there. I mean, I know you can fly across the world in a few hours nowadays, but Canada's not round the corner, is it?
No, you're talking probably 10, 11 hours.
You need some sort of planning to get a guy out there and, probably have him. I mean, are they all just in the simulator now, just hoping they might drive? I mean, I'm guessing that if Drugovic gets it, there's a spare car in Le Mans. There's it's a bit of a knock-on effect, isn't there? Here?
But this is what they're saying. Would they even pull them out of that race?
Is he racing for the same team in Le Mans? Is it all part of the group, or is he just racing for somebody else?
No, I believe he's racing for Aston Martin in, I believe, in Le Mans. But they've probably got more chance of winning the Le Mans group that they're in than they have doing anything in F1. So just let Bottas do it for a week. Unless you're going to sack Stroll, and this is actually a much bigger, wider...
What I don't understand is, obviously, every team has a reserve driver, which is obviously Drugovic. So Drugovic is their reserve driver. Don't they usually have 2, though? One that jumps in each car. So is it Van Dorn and Drugovic as the 2?
Yeah.
I mean, surely. I mean, Who's got them, the guys there? I mean, that Van Dorp, fucking Stoffel, whatever it was called, were absolutely shite. I mean, I know you don't want a world-class driver, but I mean, the idea of them being there is they can actually jump in and do something. I mean, they're better bringing Perez up and getting him in.
To be fair, they probably would have been. But yeah, so we'll see kind of how that story plays out as the week unfolds. I would say by Tuesday, Wednesday, we need to know. Or they need to know. We don't. It's not going to affect our lives in any way. But they need to know what's going on.
I mean, it's one of them, isn't it? It's like even whoever comes in, they're going to struggle to do anything. So is there really any point even burning the petrol off?
Yeah, I mean, they could just go down the eco-friendly route that everyone wants to go down and just send one car. Problem solved.
Yeah.
We'll not
Park
bother.
it up, save parts, because whoever gets in, it's probably going to crash it. So,
yeah.
Save it.
So I think, unfortunately for this week, as you can see behind me, we are now descending into what is the black hole of Calcutta that is known as British summertime. I'm going to lose the light. So I think we shall say that after an hour and 5 minutes of saying we had nothing to talk about, thank you all very much for watching and or listening. We got through it. We survived an hour of not moaning.
Yeah,
and we shall see you all again very, very soon.
Au revoir.